Okay. So again, we're entering into another panel, Lummi Small Business Development, Panel C, Ventures Direct Impacts. So we have several people that have taken advantage of the CDFI. Have you all had loans? Is that correct? Okay, great. And you paid them back? No, just kidding. No, don't disregard that. I learned that from Laura. So we have Keith and Retha. Is that am I pronounced? Okay. Tom, and is that you folks? Yeah. Okay. And then Christina James and Jeremy Reichner. Okay. George and Cece Guerrero. Are they? Yes, they are. Okay, they're on their way. Kim. And
could we have them go sooner than the others? Since
Oh, sure. Yep. Okay. Okay. Kim Frank goes behind, and Roy Finkbonner. And so I'm going to let you guys start when George and Cece, well, here they are, grand entrance here. Let's give them a hand for the food. Might as well take this opportunity to thank them for wonderful food. And I'm trying to put in an order for another panel or another thing of apple crisp before we get out of here. So hopefully you guys will all be gone and that'll be ready and I can take it home. So anyway. What would you guys like to start since you have work to conduct? So.
Are we just introducing ourselves?
Yeah. Introduce yourself again and tell us what you do and tell us your good experience with CDFI and tell us if you've had challenges too and any changes that you may want to see implemented. So, you guys have the floor. We're here to listen.
Well, my name is George Guerrero. My mom's Beverly Howell. Grandma is Marianne Jefferson. And so we moved up here 5 years ago. And, you know, we've just been getting in with the community, working good with the community. And, you know, we had opportunity to come here, which we did. You know, we just love it. You know, we're both cooks. I'm a ex-bricklayer. I'm the one who built the smoke pit out back, which you guys had your fish cooked on. You know, so we really enjoy being down here. You know, more opportunities coming our way, and that's what we're shooting for. You know, I'm a supervisor at Commods. You know, plus I'm the head cook down there and head gardener. And you know, me and my wife, we're doing very good. You know, we love this. We never been down here. I mean, I've been down here for funerals through my years, but never lived here. We're both from Colorado. I moved there when I was young. That's where I met my wife. You know, and you know, really, I don't see much changes need to be down here. You know, everything is just working and, you know, working good. You know, we heard it, you know, as this is an incubator down here for people like us to get in here and we start and we move on from here, you know, and I think that's very, very welcome to the community that we have something like that for, you know, communities. So I really enjoy this, and I know my wife does too.
All I have to say is that without this building, we would have never had this opportunity. We had had a dream that we'd wanted for a long time, and we were able to make it happen. And thanks to all the support we have, which it's an incredible amount of support. We have had, there's moments when complete meltdowns were imminent, and we have been very, very lucky to have very good people supporting us and being able to guide us and direct us in the ways that we need. Not that they're willing to do it for us, but it's really nice to have a shoulder to lean on and say, hey, which way should we look? And we've had that down here. And I have to say thank you to everybody who comes to our window, you know, who comes and sees us, who knows that we're there. We appreciate that, because every day with the window, that's what keeps us going. And then we're lucky enough to have this fabulous room, which houses enough people that where we are able to do the caterings too. So the whole thing together really works to make a small business be able to grow.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Roy Finkbonner, and I'm a son to Arnold and Catherine Finkbonner, number 11 out of 14 of us. And I've had my business for 5 seasons now, 5 years. And without the CDFI program, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. So I really appreciate the opportunity to use a resource that we have right here at hand. And it came kind of as a different angle. And I believe people come into your path for a reason. And whether you recognize that or not, it's how you end up. And so when we had a family business, me and all my brothers and my mom and dad, we had the Arnold Finkbonner and Sons Trucking. And in our last season, my brother Tom passed away when we were finishing up the Silver Reef's first hotel. And that was pretty much devastating because my brother was running the company with his wife, and my mom and dad stepped back from the business. And at that time, right after that, I finished up the hotel after Tom died, and we got that finished, and then the economy took a dive. And so it kind of left a lot of guys thinking, what's going to happen next? And during that time, I was working with Wilder Construction on a lot of road projects, and it took a dive for the road projects as well. So I got on with the city of Bellingham, and I put 2 seasons in there. And a guy that actually, this comes back to where people were in your path for a reason. A guy that actually drove truck for my dad, he had 2 of his own trucks down in Stanwood, and he asked, would you come down and drive my truck at nights and weekends when you're not working? And I said, yeah, no problem. So I went and did that, and he says, Roy, why don't you get back into it? Because you know everybody. You've been in it for 25 years. You know what you're doing. And so it kind of put a seed in my mind. And so I was talking to my brother Mike about it, and he says, you know who you need to see? And I said, well, no, who's that? And he said, you need to go down and talk to Adib. And so that's where I came in the office and talked to Adib. And Adib, he pushed me in the right direction, and he gave me motivation. And he thought my idea was great. So I got my business plan going. He set me up with James McCafferty with the program with Western. And so I got the business plan together, and I was kind of presenting it to the banks. Well, they seen my wages with the city, and I thought, that's not going to pay the bill, you know. And so I presented my credit report, and Adib pushed me again. He says, we'll take it into our meeting, and we'll look at it. So they were looking at that time, I'm not sure what it is now, but it was capped out at $25,000. And I was like, oh, well, that's not even going to be half for the truck. So I went back into it, and he said, well, we'll bring it into our next meeting. So at $60,000, I put $5,000 down. We went into the meeting. They went into the meeting, and I was forever grateful for Clayton because they seen my credit report, which I always tried to respect my report and not have any flaws on it. And they said, okay. And I thought, whoa, there's a huge door of opportunity that just opened. You got to react to it now. So I was just busy in my mind, putting everything in order, and I got busy and just started working. And I give a lot of my credit to Adib and Clayton and having faith in me. And like I said, it's been 5 years now, and as far as the impact is great. The economy is picked up. The amount of work on the reservation has been incredible. I've been a part of the second expansion of the new hotel, all the projects we started with the preschool down there, the admin building to just about, well, both of the roundabouts. I just finished the Slater Road with WRS, and that was great to be able to work at home, because most of my work, when I dove back into it, I had to take whatever I could, and that meant even driving to Seattle every day to work. Take the truck down there, work on the 520, come back home. Yeah, a lot of driving, but I had to do what I got to do. You put on a new shirt because it's your own business. You gotta succeed. So forever thankful for this great opportunity, and I give thanks to my dad for having the original dream, because he started as a laborer when they were building the mobile plant out here at the refinery. And his look up out of the ditch one day at a dump truck coming in and said, "I don't want to be in the ditch anymore. I want to be in that truck." And so he carried it over to me and my brothers, and I'm the last one to carry on the dream of dump trucking. And it's been great. I love doing what I do, and being a part of all the projects that happen on Lummi, and providing for all these contractors that come onto the reservation that have to have Indian preference. And sometimes it takes a little schooling for them to recognize that. And Ron was here, cousin Ron Finkbarn with the Taro. And I always laugh at him because I say if I have any problems with the contractors not working me before any other contractors come in, I say I call you in. And I said, "You know what you are to me?" I said, "You're my Guido." He just laughs, and it's all good. So, yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity, and it's been great. And Laura's helped me out with my second loan, so I was able to purchase a second trailer besides the truck and trailer I do got. So it's just onward and upward. Thank you.
Siam. My wife and I, we started here in the incubator program, being collectors of Native American art and beadwork and supplies for over 35 years. We started out in the little phone booth, which is now the bead store. And from there, being an incubator system here, we were offered the opportunity to grow into the gift store that we're now in. And that was about 4 years ago. Pretty close to 4 years ago now. And once again, Adib made my wife Kim jump through the hoops of business plans and cross your I's and dot your T's and where you're going to be in 5 years and all that. And she managed to do that to his satisfaction. So through his help as well, we were able to obtain and utilize what is the gallery now that we call Tribal Images Gallery and Gifts. Part of our agreement is that we do 50% of Lummi artisans' work in there, giving the local artists a chance and a place to display their beautiful pieces of art. One of my personal kind of peeves, I guess, in this business is that whenever you think of Native American art, it's always connected with the word craft, arts and crafts. But to me, it is a term that I refuse to use because even as Mr. Bond said earlier, is that, even if our work was, our tools were utilitarian, but there was embellishments on it. There was some kind of beauty to it. There was some kind of artwork put on it. So I've always strived to maintain that our art is just that. It's art, no matter what it is, how big, how small. And with our store, we're allowed to consign contracts for a lot of the work that's there. We've worked very hard going through our personal collection, which puts about the other 50% that's in there. I would say about 25%, and then the other 25% my wife and I actually manufacture ourselves. So that keeps us pretty busy. We are very grateful to the Tzitzin Center from day one. And going back, I was thinking about, some of sitting in on some of Kim's meetings with Mr. Adib. And if I remember right, we didn't bother to take a loan out. We had pretty much what we needed to start in our vast collection of things. So we were pretty well good to go once we jumped through the hoops and had all the papers signed. And one thing that really stuck in my mind that came out of Mr. Adib's mouth at one time when we were thinking about expanding and getting fancy electric tools, this and that, was he says, well, are you going into production or are you just going to produce art? Because if you're going to expand into just production, then how does it become art? And I had to think of that, because when you take the hands off on the handiwork, then it just starts being a production line. And we strive to maintain that hands-on work that we produce in our gallery. And we continue to do that today, the best to our ability. I kid with some of our customers that, yes, we are one of the best kept secrets in Whatcom County, because 95% of them says, I didn't know this was here. I says, well, welcome, enjoy yourself, buy something, and tell your friends.
My name is Jeremy Rickner, and this is my wife, Christina James. Together we own and operate N&J Affordable Landscapes. We also not only do landscaping, but we also do the janitorial work here at Gateway. So we are the faces that Adib had mentioned earlier that he had sought as replacements for taking out the garbage and mopping. We've been into business for 2 years, and we started out of pocket with no loan. But as our business grew, our needs grew, and with that required more funding, so we sought out at CDFI for help and Adib for business coaching. And I'll let my wife tell you a little bit more about our business.
My name is Christina James. I'm the owner of N&J Affordable Landscapes. As my husband said, that we've been in business for about 2 years now, and our business has grown quite a bit in even just within a year and a half. We have had about 10 employees under our belt, and that was due to, thanks to the Transitional Jobs Program through the Care Center. We were able to hire to employ anywhere from 1 to 10 employees, and we hired 2 at a time for a while, and then we advanced on to having 4 at a time, and we actually did fairly well with having just 4, and then ourselves. There was a total of 6 of us roughly on just about every job site. Having the workers that we had with us, we were able to get a lot accomplished. More jobs than probably what just him and I could have handled by ourselves. We are now down to a 2-man team, him and myself, and even with just him and I, we can definitely take on most jobs. If there's something that we can't handle, we will look out and find someone that will come and work with us and be able to help us complete the job. We had, let's see, we haven't used this facility here as an incubator. We basically work out of our home. All of our equipment is stored at home because there's not a room here that we can probably ride a 42-inch riding mower through the doors. And we don't want to mess up the floors because we take care of the floors. So overall, I'm really happy that we have this business. You know, at first I was kind of really, really scared. I didn't know what to think of it. I didn't know, I didn't know nothing about insurances, taxes, you know, all of the fun paperwork. It scared me. I didn't really know how to even, you know, apply for a loan or anything. And so once we finally got our foot in the door with a lot of people, not only through the CDFI program, the Transitional Jobs Program, but a lot of big people that work at LABC. We are starting to work with forestry on getting permits on being able to cut wood and to deliver wood. Mowing and weed eating is pretty much kind of slowed down, but we still have other services that we can offer. Brush cutting, blackberry removal seemed to be one of our biggest ones over the summer. We had a love-hate relationship with blackberries. We love cutting them down, but we didn't like so much getting cut by them. But overall, I mean, we've got a lot of services that we offer, more than just mowing and brush cutting and blackberry removal. You know, like Jeremy said, we do the maintenance here, the general maintenance here for the Gateway, and you know, it's been a fun journey, you know, and I wouldn't trade it for any other employment. You know, it's definitely opened up my eyes to a lot of different areas for working, you know, for doing all sorts of, you know, stuff outside, you know, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hi, it's me, Aretha. So my husband and I own Salish Screen Printing. And basically how we got started here was we had a snowboard team and a skateboard team. So for those of you who don't know, my husband and I have been together for 18 years? 18 years. And married for 100. No, I'm just kidding. But we have had the pleasure to work within this community. My husband worked at the youth rec for 10 years, and I've worked all over the tribal organizations, from Northwest Indian College to Healthy Marriages with Miss Candace over there, and behavioral health. I've worked in accounting. I've worked in, you know, everywhere. I've worked there. But we've always kind of been this team. So when I was working for Healthy Marriages, I was doing event planning and educational services to help our community build healthy relationships as parents with each other, learn how to nurture those relationships. And Keith had the children, so we kind of worked together always. So, you know, him taking care of the children and me taking care of the parents, and then Candace would send us on trainings to like gather, so we would be Healthy Marriages trained, and so in doing so, we started working together through LIBC's needs for us to kind of have our own partnership. And so what we started doing was seeing that there was lacking services for youth and parents, where we had the 4 food groups of sports for children and opportunities, but we were missing some individualized youth who perhaps couldn't, they didn't fit in on a team. They weren't team-oriented. So we found ourselves nurturing and mentoring skateboarders and snowboarders and skimboarders and, you know, kind of these kids who were left off to the sides or even maybe judged like, you know, don't hang out with them because, you know, they're bad kids or, you know, they're just really misunderstood. And maybe on the outside they were, but what happened was we really got to see that where there's something that isn't being taken care of, that doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be taken care of. And how that led us to owning, what people always say, we have a t-shirt business. But if we can lay it down, we'll screen print on it. So, but we started going to this shop in Bellingham called Innate. And the people in there were so creative and so positive, and it was so cool to see, like, I mean, you'd want to go in there and pick up your order, and you'd leave, and you'd just feel so uplifted, and, you know, they were doing their own thing, and they were not only, you know, doing, like, commercial or, you know, business orders where people would come in and we need these done for our business, but they were putting out their own creative stuff, you know, and just really thriving on that creativity. And volunteering for us, you know, like going up on the mountain with the kids or giving us a break because, you know, they saw what we were trying to do and understood that, you know, some of the times we might have to do some of the stuff we were doing out of our own pockets to provide for these kids, or they really and reinvested into us what we were investing, not only to their business, but to these kids. And then they went out of business and split their ways, and then, you know, we kind of were left with this void. And a couple of years ago, I stepped down from a very decently paying position to follow my dream to work with people in health and wellness, and I took a job at the fitness center with a significant pay decrease. And then I think I mentioned it to a couple of people today. If I would have known then that a year later my husband would want to follow his dream and quit his job and go full force as an entrepreneur, I probably would have kept my higher paying position. If I would have known, you know, just kind of the waves that happen with this, because it was rough at first. It was fun, rough, like, I don't know, I was kind of a bully as a kid, so fighting's kind of fun for me. But it was kind of fun like that, like in a challenging way, not in a mean way, but like, you know, in a challenging and taunting way. You know, but it was such a scary time for us. You know, when he made the move and decided and came home like, hey, so I quit my job today. It was like, what? All right, so we're doing this, you know, and I always explained Keith and my relationship as like we're like a hot air balloon, and Keith's the balloon, and he's the big dreamer, and there's nothing in it, you know, we're going for it, and I'm the string that hangs off of the hot air balloon that you can pull it back down. And then I'm like, well, I learned that from you. But so we kind of went at it backwards, but it was a great way because that's the way that we learn, you know. And we're not in the incubator here, but we are. Our incubator is at home, and we're like a satellite incubator because, you know, Adib walks over to our house and does well checks on Keith to make sure that he's okay, because one of the things that you don't know is, as an entrepreneur, especially in a home-based business, when you're the only employee, that's who you talk to, is yourself. And, you know, when you're the one doing the work, you know, it's just us. And, you know, it's the two of us most of the time. So, you know, just having that, you know, all of the experiences that we've had in life and the ability to work within this community, one of the best things to realize is that, especially for us, you know, and Louis said it when earlier, you know, he talked about, you know, finding that need, or if you don't have, you know, a plan, you know, or a goal for what you're going to do. You know, we look at shirts or sweatshirts or coats or bags. I see there's bags around here that we didn't print. You know, but when you see those things, like those are opportunities to share your message. We have our business T-shirts up here. You know, the guys next to us are wearing ours. I see he has one that we didn't print, but we would love to. You know, you guys need shirts. You know, those are all opportunities, but not just business-wise. I see Mary Kay over there. Business, she needs shirts. You know, I mean, there's those needs, but there's also helpful messages. You know, and people are walking billboards, carrying around a bag. That's a walking billboard. It's a way for you to share your message with people and to figure out what that message is. So coming back off of my tangent, you know, just having this opportunity and the people here, you know, to hold us accountable to what we said that our dream was, and to hold, you know, to hold Keith accountable for the decision, you know, that he made for himself and for our family, which, by the way, has been one of the best decisions that we've ever made. Being your own business owner is really like being caught in the waves when the tide is going out or coming back in, because it ebbs and flows and you don't really have control over that circumstance, but just riding it through, you know, and knowing that, you know, you put the plan together with other people who are experienced and who have the ability to show you and to back you up when you forget that, you know, why you went into this and why you wanted to do what you were doing. And to just kind of take charge of your own life. You know, plenty of people are happy to punch a clock every single day, and to wait for that paycheck. And then there's other people who aren't willing to do that. And I'm so proud to sit up here with, you know, a handful of people who are doing that and who have a dream and who dream big, and are willing to not sleep and cry and sweat and probably bleed at times to make sure that those dreams come true, and that they really take their fate into their own hands. So, you know, I put my hands up to all of you because I know my own self and our household has, you know, been through those fights, and it is difficult. And one thing that is difficult, because if you don't know me, I'm kind of a control freak. But Adib's like constantly like, don't quit your day job, like, because Keith quit his on a spur of the moment, like he was ready, but me not to, because of the, you know, we have to give it some time to make sure that this is something so that we grow, and that, you know, so one of the things that we're doing is different from like these two who are, I believe, completely brave, because they're both this, they have to make this work. And I mean, we have to make this work, but at the same time, you know, I have a full-time job plus, well, right now I have 2 part-time jobs, and then we have our kids, and then our marriage and the business, which is like, you know, another spouse or something. But, so, you know, my thing is, for what I want to tell people is, you know, if you're the person who's like holding on to not making the decision to be an entrepreneur because of all of the scary things and the darkness that you don't know that's out there, contact these people. They're very easy to approach. They will answer any questions that you have, and they will not do it for you, which is the best part about it. You know, but the hardest thing for us to do was to actually like get a Washington state license to be like a legitimate business. And it was like the hardest thing to do. Like, why can't you just let us get, you know, let us get a check. Let us get a check. Put it in my name, it's the same thing. And realizing after it was done that it was the simplest thing that we've done so far in the business, and it's the most important thing for us to have done. And, you know, these people here at CDFI and Ventures and everybody that's been up here today to make it what it is, you know, I'm just happy that we're a part of that and so excited for what it's going to become. And if you're scared to take the steps, that's good because you should be, but it's also worth it. So with that, I know Keith is the one who actually does the work part of it. I do the background stuff. So I'll let him tell you a little bit more about that because he's probably only got like 60 seconds. Just kidding.
Thank you for leaving me 60 seconds. Thank you all for being here today, sticking around. I know it's a long day, and we all have somewhere to be. You know, I have 3 jobs I have to have done by tomorrow. But I just want to thank the CDFI board and the CDFI staff. You know, you guys, you know, you believed in us and you gave us a shot, you know, and we're, you know, Adib. Don't do it. You know, we're here, we're thriving, you know, and we took that chance, you know, and like Retha said, and, you know, we're here to, you know, just thank you guys. You know, you guys played a big part in where we're at today. You know, we wouldn't be where we're at today, you know. But I know you guys need us too, you know, I know that. I was told that, you know, the CDFI needs you too, just as much as you need them. And I believe that, you know, I mean, you know, we're here, you know, because of your help, you know, and just thank you guys, you know, thank all of you, thank the board for, you know, there's going to be many more of us, hopefully, you know, small businesses that come through. You know, I want people to know, like, if you're thinking about a small business, just do it, you know, do it, don't wait, you know, don't put it off. I think I remember when Adib started his Indianpreneur program, and I still have my book somewhere. You know, I mean, it's, you know, I mean, I've started the process a long time ago, and I waited and waited and waited, and I wish I just did it, you know, but when I was ready, I did it. But yeah, thank you guys.
Just a couple comments. You know, I'm sure you guys had to go through a pretty rigorous process once in a while because we can be pretty anal on the board. You know, I'm on the loan committee, and it's good for me to hear you guys and see the successes. And Wade Stringfield, he's on the board. He's a loan officer, and then also John Minchner, he's not here. And you know, I was talking to Laura, and it'd be nice for us to be able to maybe play this for them because we don't always get to see the fruits of our labor. You know, we come and we're going through the, you know, the applications and everything. And back when we started, the 87% default rate that we had, Nancy was on the board back then. I was on the board. I think Mike Raleigh was on the board at the time. We didn't say no to anybody. We just said yes, because we had you come in front of us and give us your presentation. And you said you were going to pay it back. And we just said, okay, cool, here you go. But it was all a learning process. And so would you say that even though, you know, we made it difficult on you in ways, the knowledge that we were forcing you to learn helped you be successful. And the process through that helps you determine that, you know what, this isn't, they're not going to just give us the money and say, go do it. We have to actually prove ourselves and then go perform. And so so when you hear, you know, other people complain, it's like, oh, they're so anal down there. We just want the money. You know, put a little shout out that, you know, there's a reason for that, folks. There's a reason to do that. So
I think that we can testify to that. One of the things, you know, I said, you know, about accountability is because of this process, and I'm so grateful that Keith didn't follow through on the time when people were just handing out money, because there has to be the accountability and the transparency. And when we were doing it the way that we were doing it on our own before we stepped in and took this process, it wasn't fruitful, but there was the potential for the business to be fruitful. And, you know, I'm super proud of Keith and all of the work that he's done and staying up all hours of the night, you know, until things are done. And I just told him today, but he has increased business 375% through getting the loan and having that accountability. So yes, even though, you know, there's a big old thing of paperwork and signatures like it's a mortgage, it's worth it. And it's worth it because this is important. It's important to know that it's not free money and nothing is free, and that it's really our responsibility to keep that percentage of payback at a high rate so that when it's our children's turn to take over the family business, that there's money there and that there is a history of this working and showing that the big dreams are important to follow and that we can survive, not only survive, but thrive, making our own way. So yes, I don't know if anybody else.
Can we give them a hand? Thank you, guys.